It's the most wonderful time on the CU Podcast Super Show. Tuesday, December 10th, 2024, the last CU podcast of the year, alongside Jolly Ian Ferguson. I'm Grinchy Pat Contry. On the show today, we have an update about lots of fun stuff. We're going to talk about Unreal Tournament just a little bit.
Updates, and you didn't even press the button.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you got me. Update. We'll be talking about the Super Sega meme console. Is that a meme?
Yeah.
The meme console. Yeah, meme console. I just coined it. It's a meme console. Meme console. And then Ian has an Amico end-of-year update. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, Ian, have you got all your Christmas shopping done or not started yet?
I've done a little bit, but not all of it. I'll probably have it finished by, within the next couple of days. I've been crocheting a scarf for my niece. Probably make one for my nephew as well. So I've been working on some presents, but no, I have not finished all the actual shopping. What about you?
I'm going to do it this weekend. The problem is Thanksgiving was the latest possible day it could be, the 28th this year. So it's like usually you have another extra almost week buffer to do stuff. And I've been pretty busy, so I'll do the shopping this weekend for the family, which amounts to mostly gift baskets at this point. It is what it is. Wine baskets for my sister.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, the late Thanksgiving kind of screwed me up. I mean, I just finished the last of my leftovers like 4 days ago. Granted, really? That's stretching it pretty far because pretty much everything was gone the next day. But I made ham and navy bean soup that lasted me until a couple days ago.
Ian here was nice and invited me over.
That was fun.
I'm a good party guest. I brought the desserts.
Yes.
Sprouts makes a good pie.
They sure do.
Very reasonably priced pies. They do like 6-7 different pies. I should have bought the pecan as well. I brought cookies. I was like, I don't want to do 4 desserts, but I almost did 4 desserts.
The cookies were good.
Oh, you were in there.
I was into those cookies. And then
Ian's a good chef. He's a good cook.
Thank you.
He's got to learn how to put the food down and eat, though. But he was running around.
Yep.
Sampling probably while you're going.
Oh yeah, no, that's the problem. Like if I'm cooking a Thanksgiving dinner, I've been cooking since probably 10 that morning, and I'm constantly grazing and picking at things.
How did I not bring back any mac and cheese when you had a ton of it? I brought back.
Oh no, we did not have a ton of mac.
Wasn't a ton left?
Well, it went quick. There was no mac and cheese leftovers.
Really? I thought there was half a pot left after I was done. I took seconds. I took a healthy second serving.
There was.
I'm starving now.
There was lots of ham left over because I always buy a huge ham. But that ham was. I was proud of that ham.
I immediately regretted next time not getting ham. I'm bringing back ham.
I did a peach balsamic glaze, and it slapped. I'll be honest.
The salsa man was really good for the tri-tip.
Thank you. Tom actually asked me for the recipe for that the other day.
So and kind of a little smokiness to it.
Yeah, it was just I roasted all the vegetables, and then I used your basic salsa veg. It was tomato, onion, hot peppers, garlic. I roasted that all. But I added a canned chipotle pepper.
Okay.
And like a tablespoon of that sauce to it, so that gave it the smokiness.
What did Pat do recently? Well, I filmed Flea Market Madness 50 with Frank, and it's 9. Why'd you shake your head?
It's just a lot. It's a lot of Flea Market Madness.
15 years. That's average only 3.5 a year. But
okay.
Remember, at one point I was doing like 6 a year. At one point I was doing like NES Punk 1 month, next month Flea Market Madness. I was doing like that. I
guess I lost track somewhere in the early 30s because
early 30s was like start of the pandemic, I think.
Yeah,
2019.
That explains.
And then I got a lot of Magic Spoons. So when I got a lot of Magic Spoon sponsorships, I was doing it like every other month,
right,
for like a year. And then remember my hard drive crashed, and I had like 5 or 6 that I lost because I'm pissed because a couple were really good and one had Frank dancing a lot. You got to get a good Frank dancer. So here's the thing. 50 is going to come out this weekend. I'll say around Saturday. I wanted it out this past weekend, but things happen. I'm old. I can't work as hard as I used to. I have logistics stuff on my other business. My mini empire has a lot of things going on, and some things don't fire the way they're supposed to, I'll just say. Ian knows all my pain. So, not saying it's the last one, but if it is the last one, going out with style. I'll just say that. I'm not going to give away too much. Okay, there, Ian, stretching out the old spinal cord?
My back's still crappy. I'm just stretching.
And on the Not So Common podcast with good old Alex, we talked about like what the legacy of Flea Market Madness kind of is, and he told me some things that are somewhat profound that I didn't sort of realize, that a show like that came out 15 years ago, when there really wasn't shows like that.
Yes.
In the first years, kind of helped start a foundation of a lexicon for this sort of stuff, in terms of like how these videos are, how you speak about finding these things that didn't really exist for game collecting before that. And I didn't really realize, as he was telling me that, I'm like, I'm just sort of a goofy guy going to flea markets. And then he got into a little bit deeper in that, and I was like, oh, okay, I don't like pat myself in the back too much, but like it might have had a bigger impact than I thought when you take some of these things together, like all at a piece. But I'm too close to it to realize it. But people enjoyed the show, and we looked at the numbers that they've done, and going back to some of the older episodes, you're shocked by how many views some of the older ones got. Hundreds of thousands of views.
I wouldn't be shocked by that.
So that's like staying power. And to this day, if I upload a Flea Market Madness, it'll probably get the most views out of anything versus even a Pat the NES Punk video. People just like that whole searching for games things. And I understand, I thought Chris Kohler posted on Blue Sky, which I'm now on Blue Sky at Country Code. He said one of the reasons people like the shows like that is that, they like being in the hunt for things when they cannot be. Mm-hmm. And I also remember people saying, I like watching your videos because I live in a part of the world we don't have that. We don't have flea markets like that. We don't have a place where you can find these things. So I think it's a combination of all this weird things that goes into, you stir the pot in stirring it, like that goes into why Flea Market Madness is so memorable to some people. So for that, I thank everyone who's watched it. And obviously Frank has added a lot, even though Frank wasn't in, the first couple of them. Was in the second or third, but then obviously after he showed up, he's a fan favorite. And when he doesn't show up, people are saying we're not watching unless Frank's in here. So, I don't disagree. Frank makes things more. It's more interesting to bounce off a person.
Yes,
versus,
it always is.
Versus a lot of these shows are just. And now we've evolved to now people that resell and flip games do videos that get lots of views, and people like watching that. It's part of. I'm not saying it's part of the Hawk Tour whole thing, but it's a whole thing about grabbing the bag. We like people grabbing the bag by going to a Target or Walmart and seeing things marked down for 10 cents, new games that are being cleared out, to buying it so they can sell for $10 online. That's a thing now, though. I don't necessarily agree with it or think it's entertaining, but that's a thing.
Yeah.
That happens now. I don't know if you've seen any of those type of videos, but they exist.
I don't get them, but yes.
But that's the whole thing about chasing the bag. Mm-hmm. Flea Market Madness, you're chasing the deal. That's the difference. Sony's chasing a new handheld.
Kind of, maybe.
Probably. Maybe.
It's just, I think it's too early to tell. But there has been word going around about Sony potentially getting back into the handheld market with a system that can play PS5 games on the go. Microsoft also said that they were kind of looking into that, although I don't think Microsoft or Xbox brand will. I think if the consoles aren't doing great, or they will, what Microsoft I think will do is not make a handheld game system like we're thinking of. They might make something like the Steam Deck.
Because there's already another competitor coming out to that. I forget who's.
There's a couple of them. But that are already out.
Just like almost like just a portable little PC that plays games.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly. That's what I think. Yeah. And they'll probably slap the Xbox name on it, but I would be surprised if it's particularly locked down, because I don't see it working. Just like this is the thing with this idea of a new Sony handheld. If it's going to play PS5 games and it's not going to do anything separate, well, a lot of PS5 games you can get on PC, and Steam Decks already exist. Basically, if Microsoft or Sony put out new handheld systems and they lock them down to only Sony content or only Microsoft content, and they're not their own unique libraries, which they wouldn't be at this point, that's too costly to. I can't see a separate development unit for. So
you're saying they might as well compete with like the Steam Deck directly?
Well, I'm not saying that they should, but if they put out these units and they're locked down, they're not going to beat the Steam Deck. I do not see a Sony handheld that just plays PS5 games as being something that's going to be profitable. I can't really see it being any more profitable. I don't see that market existing anymore.
It's shrinking. People rather have their Steam Deck where they can play Xbox and Windows stuff and whatever else they can throw in there.
And just like always with these portable systems, I think people are always going to default Nintendo to Nintendo in the portable space. Sony has made, good attempts at it, and I liked the Vita and the PSP, but I just feel like it would take a lot to get Nintendo out of people's heads when it comes to portable video games.
Sure. Yeah, according to this Verge article, well, everything's from Bloomberg, so Bloomberg is usually fairly accurate with their sources on this stuff. Originally, it says that the PlayStation Portal was reportedly originally intended to work as a standalone device and not just to be like a streaming thing. That's interesting. But I don't know. You're right. Maybe I don't know if they have the stomach to try something like this and it fails spectacularly. I don't know if they could handle that. Especially since like the PS5 Pro, I don't know if that's blowing people out of the.
Well, and with so my other thing though, thinking about it is like I don't see us going back to a time where, video games probably will at some point because this is untenable, but we're at a point where these video game companies and developers are working longer on less games.
Yeah,
and I don't know that
it's software. Sell more software.
I don't know that there's, a company out there that could be like, okay, we're going to dedicate this many people to making only games for your handheld. And I think that's kind of part of why Nintendo had to go the route with the Switch, where it was a portable and a console, because...
Well, I think this would be a console as well. They realized that we can't split out games anymore.
Well, no, it would play console games. Yeah. Yes. No, I know. That's what I'm saying. You can't split it out anymore.
Sure.
And I think that's why Nintendo went to the console handheld route, because it streamlined the library.
Sure.
And I just don't think we'd
ever
ever
replace two consoles at once, or two platforms.
Yes.
3DS
and the Wii U. So yeah, I don't see where this would work or take off in any meaningful way.
Sure. Well, we'll see. They can probably cancel it or come out in flops, as they are wont to do. We have some Unreal news. The GOAT arena shooter. Probably like one of the original ones at the same time, I guess, that thought of the concept. Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament are now free. This was from a tweet. Of course, it's a tweet because Epic didn't put out a press release. From Vincius Mediro 6, Unreal Gold, which is, remember, that basically the gold is like the director's cut. It has everything extra. Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament 99, which is the original, can now be downloaded for free. Epic Games just gave the old Unreal folks permission to host installers for both games on their website. It'll install the games and the old Unreal patches. I don't know what those are. I have the good old game ones versions. Maybe it's the same thing. To make them run on modern systems.
Yeah, it probably just means the most recent patched version.
So remember what happened when I got on my soapbox a year ago when they decided to delist them all, and then they made the 2007 one free and multi-platform, which that did not do that well. 2007, because some people didn't like it, because 2004 they felt was like kind of perfected it, and 2007. By that point, I was a little bit older. And, it was like I didn't have the time to play them. That's why I didn't play it that much.
Right.
But 2004, 99, I played a ton of, obviously, and obviously the original Unreal. So I just think it's funny that this huge company decided to delist these when they could have kept them around. And now you can just download the first versions of both regular Unreal and Tournament for free. I just think it's weird. It doesn't make business sense to do that.
Right.
Versus just advertising, hey, we still have these classics around. 2004, who knows what's happening with that, because now that one's not available for free. You have 7 and 99, and no one cares about 03 for whatever reason. It's like a half upgrade. 03 gets forgotten by everyone, including me. But 04 now, you can find it, you can download it and play it, but at least there's a good way to do this. At the same time, Ian, Secret Levels is almost out.
Yes.
We should have almost waited to talk about it. I think it premieres tomorrow or tonight. When does it premiere? The 10th or the 11th?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much I can say about it.
They released a couple of trailers.
I don't like to watch. I want to see what it is without going into it. I know the Pac-Man one looks freaking weird.
Yes, they released trailers for like Mega Man, which looks how you would expect a Mega Man to kind of look.
I mean, it's in the ballpark.
It's acceptable. You can recognize that it's Mega Man. It's a little boy wearing a blue robot suit. And then I'm on the Amazon Prime. What? Enter codes. I just want to what? I just want to see the preview. Okay, this is enough. Anyway, they're selling gear about it. They're selling gear for it. Okay, they're selling T-shirts and a secret level controller on Amazon Prime. Anyway, the Pac-Man one, Ian. If someone's life was on the line and you said, "Guess what video game this is?" No one would have guessed it was Pac-Man. I mean, no one. It's closer to Legend of Zelda than Pac-Man. I'm not even kidding. When you see the trailer, it's like an Oddworld, Abe's Exodus looking guy running around a forest with a sword, and it's like a fantasy thing. And I'm not even going to rewatch it. I want it. This is like in my head what it was, and I think, are you rewatching it?
Yeah, I was just taking a look at it. Yeah.
So the early reviews are not great for this that are out for Secret Level. It says, well, it has all the bad trappings of an anthology series, and
yeah.
So, but here's the point: they're doing an Unreal Tournament one, so I gotta support it and watch that. When does it premiere, Ian? Secret Level premiere.
December 7th. No, the first 8 episodes are now streaming as of today.
Oh, yes. Shit!
And then the rest. New episodes released on December 17th.
Should I pause the podcast and watch Unreal Tournament? Because I didn't know that.
No.
So which 8 are out right now?
I don't know.
Is that on? Variety says it's dull. It says uninspired snooze. Oh, geez. Variety, your source of Hollywood news. The 15th episode of Anthology gives audience a short snippet into several beloved franchises, including Pac-Man, blah, blah, blah. But despite the vastly different titles, its monotonous storytelling will do little to entice hardcore fans or viewers who know little about the various universes. Oh, some of these are 7 minutes? They're only 7 to 7. These are short.
That's what I would have expected. I would not have expected anything long, not from these.
7 minutes, Ian?
It's an average. That's like a Tom and Jerry episode.
Oh my God! If Unreal Tournament's 7 minutes long, I'll throw something. You got to build the worlds up. You can't just.
They're not building up worlds in in an anthology series.
Variety says many of the plots get compelling only in the final few minutes. Well, if you have only 7 minutes. Or worse, they are recycled versions of scenarios the audience has seen numerous times. Oh, Jesus. So the first ones, let's see. Sifu, Once a Future King episode, Spelunky's episode 12. Oh, this person reviewed a bunch of them, not just the first 8. New World, the Once a Future King as Arnold voices King Alstrom now. Okay. I don't think hopefully Unreal's not in the first one. Another standout is the Ultra. Okay, spoilers. This is a semi-review of Pac-Man. Another standout is the ultra-violent episode 6, Pac-Man Circle. Nearly all viewers will recognize the timeless maze and its titular protagonist. Will they? But the secret level take on the ghost-eating circle figure is unlike any previous iteration. Okay, there you go. In its 10-minute sequence, Miller presents a dark, volatile, and gory sequence of creepy humanoid-like Pac-Man who must move through a maze by brutally annihilating everything in sight. Though the episode's ending is admittedly preposterous, it's distinctive since it vastly differs from the classic character in the rest of the show. Okay, question. You're a huge diehard Pac-Man fan. Maybe you're a crazy lunatic and you have a box in your garage that has the pillows, the mugs, everything. Would this appeal to that person?
As a 7-minute short that's just experimenting, maybe. Not as a full-on movie thing or anything like that.
As a crazy person with a Pac-Man box, no. I'd rather have them do something closer to the Pac-Man cartoon from the 80s.
I wouldn't. That doesn't interest me.
But then why call it Pac-Man? Call it something random. Pick a game that it's actually closer to, because Pac-Man, I guess you could say, is ultra violent when you're gobbling up ghosts, but you don't see blood with that.
I mean, that's more interesting to me than any of these being played straight.
Secret Level, this is from the review. Secret Level may have worked better if its simplistic storylines targeted children instead of adults. After all, the death and gore often feels overdone and unnecessary. Are these all going to be grim, dark? All these. I mean, Unreal Tournament is violent, so that would make sense. You'd be surprised if it wasn't. Okay. I'm sort of... Oh, Keanu Reeves is in one of these with Kevin Hart? Okay.
probably the wasn't there a Cyberpunk one?
I don't think so. Okay. This series feels like a jumble of gaming commercials for viewers who've never entered the gaming world. The show dissolves into disorienting snippets of stories that never reveal their true purpose or meaning. For those who know these worlds well, the show acts as poorly written AI summaries of massive tales, all of which would have been better positioned in an opening or closing credit sequence of their respective games. That's kind of damning, because now I kind of know that what they're going for. Mm-hmm. Like, these are going to be like a small part of a world that we just throw you in real quick. Mm-hmm. We don't have time to build a narrative up or even have real character arcs, and we just pull you back out of them. It's like, wow, you're in the world for 10 minutes, and that's the appeal, versus telling an interesting story. Thumbs down, but I'll have my full Unreal Tournament review next month for that. But speaking of that, 2 Unreal Tournament skins are available in Fortnite. So I guess this is a way they're promoting the show, because I don't think they've ever had Unreal Tournament skins ever in Fortnite before. So,
not that I'm aware of.
So there you go. I just think it's almost like the laziest way Epic could promote it. They couldn't like have a thing. Oh, we're re-releasing 2004. We're doing a remaster. We're putting it back on good old games or Steam. No, we're just going to give you a couple skins that almost no one playing Fortnite even knows about Unreal Tournament. They weren't alive at half of them when it came out. So there you go. Because it's 25 years old this year. Marvel Rivals, Ian.
Have not played it yet, but it looks interesting. It's a game that, at least for me personally, came out of nowhere. I didn't even know it was in development. Then again, I don't follow a lot of AAA, AAA game development. Unless, it's something I'm particularly into. These days, without working at Luna and without doing this every week, I don't follow that stuff as much. But it looks like a lot of fun, honestly, and people are talking about how it's been doing some things right out of the gate. It looks like basically an Overwatch style hero shooter, but it's not a shooter. It's third person, not first person. And while many of the characters have projectile attacks, one of the things that people say stands out is there's like 7 pretty much solely melee focused characters right from the go. And people like the dynamic because they... In other hero shooters where, there's kind of an established meta, you can take some of that to any new one, but if you've got melee characters now, that starts to shake things up.
Well, different play styles, different combos of teams, things like that. You can think about, plus superheroes, a lot of them just have melee attacks.
What people like in Rivals is that there are 33 characters, all available from the start without unlocking or paying.
This is free to play, right?
Yep, free to play. All 33 characters are available to go right out of the gate. I heard that the way they're doing the season pass, if you want to call it that.
If you buy it, you get more characters?
Well, so basically, like, a season pass is the wrong term. I don't know why it's killing me. Basically, it's like in Fortnite. Fortnite's free to play, but you buy basically a season pass, and you have so much time to play through and meet milestones on the season pass. And when you do, you unlock cosmetics and things like that.
So you're not buying the cosmetics outright. You have to play to get them.
Right. And that's what keeps people, keeps people coming back. What this game is doing is what Helldivers 2 did that made it so popular. If you buy the season pass, you have as much time to finish it as you want, meaning they don't ever go away. Fortnite ones, for instance, and they probably still do it. If you buy one for Fortnite, if you don't unlock everything by the time that season ends, you don't get it. Here, so basically what you're doing here is you're buying DLC unlockables. Which sounds weird, but it's better than other predatory ways other companies have done it.
Yeah, because I know we talked about what a disaster Concord was, and that was a hero shooter.
Well, I think one of the big problems with Concord being a hero shooter is, and we mentioned it then, is we've moved on from those types of games being things that people pay for. That's kind of become a distinct free-to-play model.
Plus, you have to have visually and intriguing characters like interesting characters,
Yes.
both in design and how they look. And that game was ugly as fuck, and all the characters were generic. And this is obviously superheroes. The way I found out about this was people complaining about how Wolverine looks.
Yeah,
And he does
Wolverine
look
looks kind of silly.
Wolverine is a weird combination. He looks like a samurai and a sumo wrestler at the same time somehow.
Yeah.
He's way too thick and big. He's as thick as the Hulk.
I actually like a lot of the stylistic choices for the character art in this game, but yeah, the Wolverine one is
It looks ridiculous.
it's pretty silly.
So if you have fun, and people were all excited because they added Squirrel Girl recently. So people are like,
Well, she's right out of the gate. They haven't added anything. The game just came out like a week ago.
oh, I thought someone said they added her.
No, 30. There's 30. Like I said, there's 33 characters you can play out of the
Okay.
gate. It's a lot.
So I guess maybe they'll add more. That's a lot, 33.
They said they will add more.
That's hard to balance that out.
I don't think they're particularly worried.
They don't
about
care
balance.
because people are already saying Hawkeye's overpowered. I've already seen that. Hawkeye has both. He's shooting and he has a melee sword attack.
I'm sure that they will.
They'll nerf some.
focus on that, but yeah, I think we'll see how this ends up being competitively. Because yes, I think one of the big selling points is how many characters there are.
Sure.
And there's some interesting choices in there. Like Jeff is in there.
Who?
Jeff.
From Deadpool? No. Who the hell's Jeff?
Jeff. Just look up Jeff the Land Shark.
Jeff the Land Shark?
Yeah.
Is this like an actual character
Yep.
or just a meme?
Nope, he's a character.
Jeff the Land Shark.
He's cute.
When he first came out like 4 years ago. That's
Yes.
how I didn't know about him.
Yeah.
He looks like Jabberjaws.
Everyone should know.
It's adorable.
Jeff. Yeah, he's really, really cute. Like he's a character. Squirrel Girl's a character, but then of course you've got your shoo-ins like Storm, Iron Man.
Spidey's going to be in there.
Yeah, Captain America. Iron Fist is in there though.
Captain America would be interesting if you could power up how many times the shield like reflects off things. Or ooh, that could be kind of cool.
Oh, fun little side story.
Oh.
On Black Friday, I went to a comic shop with my friend Adam, and they had 50-cent bins. They just had they said 40,000 comics at 50 cents, and
40,000 at 50 cents. Like back in the day, you would see like these long things for 50 cents or a quarter each.
and that was just their whole sale. And I picked up 2/3 of a complete run of classic X-Men because it's not worth anything, but I love the covers and I like classic X-Men, how it shows. Basically, they like streamline the story a little bit.
told me that. They fill in some
it's
things.
mostly, yeah. But just bringing it back around real quick.
Editor's cut.
I found 7 issues of my favorite Iron Fist arc from 2000s.
Uh-huh.
And I realized afterwards that 5 of them were signed by the writer.
There you go.
I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. They were signed by Matt
50 cents each.
Matt Fraction, 50 cents
Which is
each.
what 95% of comics are actually worth. 50 cents each.
Yeah, anyways.
Frank bought some in Flea Market Madness 50. He bought 4 or 5 comics that were beat up. He bought like a Turok from like the early 70s. He bought a Solar, a Man of the Atom from the old Gold Key ones. And the guy said like, these 4 comics, $15. Frank didn't budge. I said, Frank, these comics are worth like $4. Like, these are not key issues. These are not in great shape, and he didn't care. I was like, okay. The guy was looking at these comics over like these were important comics, and I'm like, these are dollar comics. I felt Frank didn't care. He doesn't like to haggle. He wants them to not want them. Watch Flea Market Madness to find out more about which ones. This weekend, I'll premiere it like on Saturday. Flea Market Madness 50. I'll do a premiere on YouTube. Ian won't be there, but we'll be fine.
You know where I am right now?
Where are you right now?
Sitting here, getting ready to promote UltimateNintendo.com. Pat streams on Wednesday nights.
Okay,
get a YouTube membership.
Hey, this is the last before the holidays. You want to stock your stuffing with CU Podcasts and Apple pins. Ian doesn't know how to make money. RBI baseball stickers.
Sure.
N64 book behind me. Digital and physical version. Super Nintendo book there. NES out of stock. Stop emailing me about it, please. I'll do a new edition at some point. That's a lot of work. At ultimatenintendo.com. Get in early. There might be a promo code later on at the end of the intro. I might for the books, for the N64 books. Yeah, and I'll be looking at Christmas commercials. Always fun. Every Wednesday.
And I stream.
Twitch.tv/ContraCode, and Ian streams on Thursday.
Twitch.tv/Pixelsicle.
He's DJing. He does the DJ thing.
Yes, I do the music.
I lurk every once in a while to see him bop around.
I do bop.
He doesn't know I'm in there.
I do bop.
Zack Snyder wants to embrace AI. By the way, before we get into that, Supposedly the Watchmen animated one that came out is really good.
Oh,
It's like it took us 3 iterations to get this right. They did the live action movie, which he messed up. They did the audio version, which is like weird because it's one guy doing all the voices. They should have just did like a real cast, a voice cast,
like a radio show.
Yes, and this is a real animated version that is not 100% faithful, but from what people are saying, I'll just say this: it has the squid ending, and it builds up the squid ending, and that's all you need to know. That this is the best version of it. So I have to watch it. I feel like that's like the only Blu-ray I ever would buy. Would be they broke it up into 2 parts, parts 1 and 2, and they build in the Tales of the Black Freighter into it. They weave it in.
Oh, interesting.
Which the movie never did.
Huh.
Nor the audiobook. I don't think. No. The audio version did do it because that was more like reading everything down the line for the most part. But supposedly it's very clever in its small changes, but it's pretty much what you want to watch. But Zack Snyder wants to embrace AI. Thinks filmmakers should.
He sure does. He's less bombastic in this interview. Basically, he's an old guy who's been swayed to AI, and
Ridley Scott kind of was too a little bit. I think a little bit. Let me see.
What it comes down to is he doesn't say anything particularly interesting. He says that it should be used as a tool, and people need to stop being afraid of it. And if you stand on the sidelines, you're going to be left out. And this is supposed to be the kind of middle of the road take that some people use when it comes to AI, being like, well, it's dumb to, make use of it to, do all of this, but we can use it for this, or we can use it for this. And frankly, I'd prefer to have it just out of there. Like, he talks about using it to take shots inside a house that's on fire because cameras can't go there. But that doesn't make any sense, because then just make it...
Then hire a CG artist.
Right, exactly. What he says does not make sense.
We were already doing this.
Creating shots which are otherwise difficult to access is a chief example of where AI can be useful, Snyder said. AI doesn't care if a house is in fire or if it's on Mars or whether it's underwater. All the things that might cost a filmmaker a lot of money to shoot are, to the AI, no different. Just use CG. And this is where it comes down to they just don't want to pay people. It's cheaper. And that's why I find this take kind of insidious, is because it's always cutting someone else out of a job. AI's not doing anything brand new that couldn't be done before. No. And AI replacing CG would just be an absolute nightmare.
Oh, it would look awful.
Yeah.
It would look terrible.
Yep. Because all AI is doing when you tell AI to shoot this fucking film inside a house that's on fire is it's scraping prior CG projects that did the same thing. Sure. It's not like AI just knows how to make a fucking
it's not AI's not magic.
Yeah,
things go. It has to learn on things that exist.
You're getting the chewed up and shitted out version of the CG that most people pay for.
This quote really annoyed me. Every single person has a pretty good movie camera on their phone. Yet we don't have, right this second anyway, millions of awesome movies being uploaded out of people's pockets. Because not everyone's a filmmaker, Mr. Snyder.
Yep.
And you barely are one at this point. After fucking Death Rebel Moon, wherever the fuck it was, part 1 and 2, that was slammed by everyone. And that seemed like that was AI.
And there's like an R version and a PG-13 version. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Enough with Snyder director cuts, especially when it comes to Netflix, because you have control over what you're releasing because it's not coming to screens. Enough with the gimmick. And that was like fucking AI slop, because it was like, oh, we're mixing Star Wars with Lord of the Rings, and we'll just throw it all into a bag. And that got not good reviews. I'm not going to go on the Rotten Tomatoes. Fuck it, I'll go on the Rotten Tomatoes. So that's insulting. Zach, why don't you hire a real writer? I'm not saying you did AI for Rebel Moon, but it looked like it. AI doesn't care if a house is on fire or if it's on Mars or whether it's underwater. Neither does CG artists. They don't care. They're paid to do that. I'm friends with a world-class CG artist. And they would say when it comes to AI would be good potentially just to do a rough concept of something, but you're not going to like use that as a final. You'd be like, oh, it can kind of look like present it as a proof of concept, but then you actually got to do the real work on it.
Right. You
can't just say this is what it is. Like, that's the only thing it'd be useful for. Like, this is what it could look like in theory, but this is the shit version of it. Because I don't want to work 3 hours to mock it up. So here's the house on fire, but then I'm going to actually do all the work myself if you approve this, proof of concept. Like that's how it, to me, could make sense to use. Several videos, this is from the IGN article. Of course, Tim Burton called AI generated art very disturbing. I didn't know this. Wizards of the Coast was forced to issue a correction after claiming it didn't use AI for some Magic cards when it did. For some Magic the Gathering art, and it actually did. How? That's funny. Oh, this looks like AI. No, it's not. Oh, yes, it is. How do you not know that?
No, I think it's the other way around. I think they said it was AI and it wasn't.
No, the article says claiming it didn't use AI when it actually did.
Oh, okay.
So they did use AI.
Yeah.
So, and people probably called it out on them.
Got it.
And then voice actors saying it's inevitable but dangerous because they're already using actors' voices on their shit projects and all this AI garbage, and they're suing. So, all right, well, that's funny, and that's fun. Sony came out. We're the 30th anniversary of the PlayStation. Well, fives and zeros.
Fives and zeros.
In Japan was 94. 106. They updated their PS2, which came out in 2000. Right, 160 million PS2 sold. So they upped it a bit from where it was last. You surprised by that they would punch it up? I don't know how. I don't know how they upped the value, because it might be just been consoles shipped that we produced and not actually bought. Like, where's the line between?
I feel like
we made 5 million more of these or 4 million, but we didn't actually sell them, or a few hundred thousand. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I don't doubt it, because the PlayStation 2 was fucking everywhere. But I also am kind of skeptical of them doing this now as the Switch is approaching its old, top number.
146 is as of September 30th. So that's going to be, we'll just say, almost 150 maybe by Christmas.
Right. So I feel like this is a very suspect time for them to. Well, it's 30 years, but I feel like it's odd that suddenly it's got this.
Yeah, the old number was in the 140s, I believe.
That's what I always recalled. I always recalled it being at, like, for whatever reason, 141 sticks in my head.
And so Switch was going to overtake it, and now we're going to up at 16 million. Sony's number one.
And like I said, I mean, I don't necessarily know that this is nefarious. I could see them selling that many, sure, but I don't really care.
It's a little suspect to be like, oh,
yes. Yeah.
Nintendo's going to overtake us. We're going to up the number.
And frankly, I don't really care how much they sold. I'm not going to sit there and pat the corporation on its ass and be like, good job.
I wonder if Nintendo's pissed because they were ready to say, oh, number one console, now Sony. I wonder if they're pissed inside. Kyoto is like, oh, those motherfuckers. We know they're lying. Or I don't know. Corporate culture. I don't know if they still feel a way about Sony from their, falling out over 30 years.
I feel like, honestly, the people up top just don't give a shit.
They don't care.
I don't know. They care.
I don't know. Ian, we got Christmas presents.
Oh, we do?
I got you a couple of things.
Oh.
Don't worry if you didn't get me anything yet. It's an early Christmas.
Yeah, it's the 10th. You said you didn't get any of your Christmas shopping done.
That was trickery, Ian. Okay, before I give this to you, keep in mind I did not know how these size before you open it.
Okay.
I think you'll like it. I
do.
It's a Kirby beanie.
I like it very much. That's great.
The question is, will that fit on that melon you have?
I have a big fucking head.
But I think it's supposed to be tighter.
I have a real big fucking head.
Well, take off your headphones to see if that fits. I think that'll fit. If not, you got a niece or nephew. Yeah, that fits fine.
It fits great.
That's a beanie.
It's a beanie.
You're adorable, Ian.
Oh, thank you.
That's gift number one.
I like that. That's comfortable.
Thank you. I think of you. You're a Kirby guy. Get your Kirby gift once a year.
I do, though. My head is so huge.
But it's a beanie. I think it's supposed to stretch.
Yeah, it is. That's the benefit of beanies.
All right. Second, I saw that. I was like, oh, God, this is for like 8-year-olds. One size fits all. Well, give me the beanie. I'm going to show the beanie off. Give me the beanie.
I showed it.
No, I'm going to show a little beanie action. Look at this cute guy. Yeah, it's adorable.
Ooh, an ornament.
Ian
almost broke it.
It's not just an ornament, Ian. It's a keepsake from Hallmark.
It's a keepsake. I didn't know it was going to slide out of the package.
Oh my God!
But it's awesome. What's really so?
You want to say what it is?
Yeah, it's Snoopy, and he's skiing. And this is awesome because I actually have a Snoopy ice skating ornament.
I know that. I kind of knew that.
Yeah. So this is great.
There, it's a keepsake. You put on the tree. You can put on a shelf.
We set it up. We decorated our Christmas tree last night, so this will go on the Christmas tree then.
I knew that as well. I'm
Yeah, you
psychic.
did.
When
You
it comes to Hallmark gifts, there you go. We're not done though. We're not done. We have gifts from good old Toy. We like Toy.
Oh, we do.
Toy, if you don't know, is responsible for good call-ins on the show. We did voicemails. They did the nice Unsolved Mysteries opening.
Yep.
And most famously, did the animated Tales, produced the animated Tales from the Game Store segment with Kinya Kinya.
That was good.
So this is a gift from them. I had to look at it to see what it was at first because I'm like, one came in a gigantic box, like an LCD TV box.
I saw that.
And you're like, what is that?
Yeah.
So this is first yours.
All right. And
there's a letter. First of all, this is like a fucking bomb package. Look at this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And the envelope, my name on it. What are you, the Zodiac? All right, so I'm going to read the letter. That's a Bubble Bobble t-shirt, right?
Yeah, that is. I love that.
Dear Pat and Ian, or is it Ian and Pat? Do you all take turns on who was first? That sounds dirty. Hope you all got what you wanted this year, and if you didn't, here's my attempt to add to your Christmas cheer. I will now explain the gifts. Ian, I imported this gift all the way from Japan.
It's awesome.
Then I saw you actually went to Japan. So I hope this brings back some memories of your time there this year. It's a Japanese Bubble Bobble shirt. Show it again, Ian. Come on. In the Japanese size of large, which means that a large American child could fit in it. That might be a medium.
I can fit in
That's
that.
a medium, I think, here.
I can fit in that.
I think you'll be okay if not. Find a large American child and make his week. Bubble Bobble is one of those games I see and I'm like, yeah, Ian probably plays that game while cooking up a chili or typing up a fanzine.
I have played a lot of Bubble Bobble.
They were out of Ivan Iron Man shirts, Pat. No shirt for Pat? Come on, Toy. Pat, it's me again. Your gift and Ian's too. We're going to fight over this one. Is a lovely framed photo of our favorite Kumite champion, rendered by Kinya Kinya, the animated Tales from the Game Store artist. Believe it or not.
Oh, that's excellent.
Hold that up for everyone. I'll put it with the thing. Believe it or not, Van Damme was once interviewed in the early 90s where he said the exact phrase you see on the picture. Reading Pat's Nintendo books and catching Ian on the podcast is completely necessary. Signed, Van Damme, the Fred Astaire of karate, who is doing a split, listening to his Walkman or MP3 player, holding up the Super Nintendo book, one foot on the stack of NES and Super Nintendo guidebooks and N64, and a CU Podcast arcade holding his other leg up.
It's just wonderful. And it says a completely necessary Van Damme cameo.
It utterly confused everyone in the 90s and was thought to be the result of head trauma. But we know it to be the truth, which is ever stranger than fiction. There you go. Please keep up your podcast efforts. When is the CUP? I finally got it. Haha, good one. Mini arcade releasing. Have a holly jolly wonderful time Toy and Kinya Kinya with their logos on there.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's great.
He sent the proof just in case this didn't arrive in time.
It's so cool.
A completely necessary Van Damme cameo is on the bottom there.
I think that deserves a
we
spot.
can hang it?
Yeah, I think that deserves a spot in the
Thank
studio.
Thank you, Toy and Kinya Kinya.
Thank you. That's very cool.
This is I love the blue marble frame.
No, I do too. I was going to comment on that.
This is about 18 inches by 14 inches or so. You want to say, or by 12?
I love the little engraving too.
The box this came in, Ian saw, was like 4.5 feet by like 3.5 feet.
Yeah.
Or bigger than that. It's big.
It was crazy.
But, it's important. So there you go. Well, appreciate that. I'm going to edit this into the podcast. I'm going to splicey it in for you. The question is, who gets custody? You want to keep it here?
I think you get to keep it here on the wall.
Because I didn't get my own T-shirt, Toy.
It's a good group gift, and we'll get to admire it every time we record.